Alright, really nice and simple video today. Going to be changing the gear oil in this Honda Shadow VT750. Alright, this is what we need, some gear oil. So I used to use semi-synthetic, but I changed over to full synthetic because I found in winter time sometimes this would gum up in here and it would shoot out there because it was too thick and it was because of the cold. So since I've changed over to the synthetic, I haven't had that problem. Alright, very simple job. What we're going to start off with is a 17mm spanner here. We're going to take off this bolt. That is a little bit tight. Let's try again. Loosen that off. That was really tight. Okay, and then we're going to use a 6mm Allen key for this bottom bolt here. Oh, and that one's really tight as well. Alright, cool. Alright, there we go. Now you want to be on pretty level ground for this, and the manual says to keep the bike on the kickstand so that you don't overfill. And we're just going to let that drain out. Alright, now that that's finished draining, we're going to put the bottom bolt back in. If you're wondering where your washer is, often they actually get stuck here. So you want to keep that and you make sure you hang on to that. I'm just going to give it a bit of a clean. Put it back on the bolt. And we're going to screw it back in. Now don't go overboard with this. It'll be in the manual to say how much you need to go in, but basically get it snug is what I found. Get it snug and then give it a nice little turn after that, so that's firm, nothing's coming out of there, and then the heat will help seal it again as well. Alright, so the manual actually says to change this every, I think it's 38,000 Ks, but oil's cheap, parts are expensive. This is actually the second time I had to refilm this because it didn't record properly, but if you can see this oil, it was actually quite dark, the original lot. Okay, what we're going to do next is take our Pro Gear oil, and if you never used one of these before, you basically just pull this plastic funnel up out of it and unscrew the lid. And so the manual says on the kickstand, we basically fill it, hopefully you can see this, fill it in here, in the filler cap, until it is basically running over. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, that's at the point now. Yeah, that's at the point now of flowing over. So I'm going to take this, give this a little bit of a wipe, make sure it's all clear. Inspect your whatever kind of bolt this is, filler bolt. Make sure your gasket's in good order. And we'll put that back on. This is the one you really have to be careful with, because you don't need a lot of torque to seal it, and you can easily break it and it will be unusable. It will break off at the thread. Okay, so basically get it flush and then just firm it down a little bit more. Yeah, I'm happy with that. One more thing to note is hypoid gear oil. They say that, but that's an older rating and style of oil. It's actually hard to get these days. So I called up the oil manufacturers at Penrite, and they said this is by far exceeds hypoid, which is an old classification, I suppose. Yeah, so this one has been working really well. And since I've gone to synthetic, it's not coming out of that breather. But if it does, if you do get oil coming out of there, don't panic. Just know that you might be driving in a colder area and you'll have to just swap to synthetic, full synthetic oil. All right, that's the end of the video. I'm gonna put some part numbers in case you do have any damages on this bolt, washer, gasket and things. So there'll be some part numbers there if you need to order the spare parts to fix it up and get you back on the road. All right, happy riding.